subscribe to PewDiePie. Magandang umaga my friends, this is Ernesto from ER Games and welcome back to Amorous, guys. Now we are in the third date, I guess. Actually my PC broke again, so I just make sure last time I've saved all of my files again, which is really handy. Good game, Google Drive. So anyway, we actually continue it. The save files is always saved, so thank goodness. I told myself it had been long enough since the last date, regardless of how true that really was. Ring ring click.
Hey Case, sorry, was a little busy.
It didn't take me much for me to realize what was keeping him busy when I heard Varot's voice over the phone.
At your toy dust?
What the F? Even just hearing his voice was enough to set me on edge. Dustin snarled back and swiftly the call became a little more than muffled shouts and door being slammed. After a moment, I heard the phone being lifted again and Dustin's voice.
Sorry about that. Was being worse than usual about all this. At this point, I think I surely need a vacation. Thinking you might want to come along too. There's this great little inlet not too far outside of town. It's more secluded than the main drag and less likely to be choked with tourists. Thought we could spend some time there.
How about, maybe I should ask what's the VAR doing there? Wait, is VAR still living with you? I thought he was already on his way out.
It's complicated.
Uncomplicated version?
The short version is that he's bounced over the three couches, including his dad's, and now he's back here. It's temporary, and he's on the couch. It's gonna be the longest week of my damn life. So save me from this sitting here between his boxes and let me take you out somewhere.
Sounds great. I could use the time away from the house and job hunts myself. Relaxing on the beach and soaking up sun sounds pretty good right now.
It's a date then. Head over to my place when you get a chance and buzz me when you're there. Everything's good to go.
I'll see you then. Sadly, he didn't get much of a goodbye before I heard Var's voice echoing in the background. I swear that bird makes claws on a chalkboard sounds pleasant. Regardless, I needed to get my things together and head over. A quick side trip later, I headed out of the suburbs and into the city. True, half of the city was a beach, but if Dustin knew a place that was more secluded, that would certainly be a treat. I just go to the settings of the OBS, make sure that every settings is okay, because last time I actually recorded this 2 times. So maybe I gonna cut this anyway. The parking lot below Dustin's apartment complex was packed solid with cars. It'd be impossible to figure out which one was his. Fortunately, Dustin strolled out of the elevator and waved me down. Hey Kate, glad you could make it. He walked up to me and gave me a brief hug, a smile beaming on his face. It's good to see you again. I'm really looking forward to relaxing and getting to know you a little better. His smile turned a little predatory as he glanced around the parking lot. But first, I got a little game I wanted to play. It's called Guess Which One Is Mine. My brow furrowed and he laughed. It's just for fun. Which car do you think it's mine? Kind of an odd game, I suppose, but I can humor him. Oh my god. This is a question and answer for many question and answers. I mean, question and choices. Point out a sports car, maybe. Yeah? There was a cherry red sports car in an immaculate condition towards the front of the garage. Something about it suggested Dustin. That one. Haha, I wish. You've got great taste in cars though. There's my baby right there. He mentioned to a pickup truck in the back of the lot. It was powder blue and looked like it had seen better days. Not quite what I was expecting. Huh, would have never guessed. And that's why we're getting to know each other better, kid. That pickup means the world to me. It was my first car and the first real thing I had that I could call my own. That truck let me independent for once, helping me to make my own way. It's full of memories. You must really like that pickup, considering the amount of work he's likely to put into it. Still, it wasn't wrecked or anything. Just well loved and long lived. Toss your stuff in the back, kid. We should get going. It's a bit of a drive out the beach. I nodded and set my bag in the bed of the truck. I'd noticed he'd already loaded in a couple of folding chairs and a cooler as well as his own thing. A black speedo picked out of the rucksacks he'd posing next to the cooler. Hop in, kid. The heavy doors of the truck slammed shut as the engine reluctantly revved to life. After a moment's hesitation, a cut of engine, the truck lurched to life and we were on our way. Despite a questionable roaring start, the truck's ride was remarkably smooth. Dustin and I chatted about the little things, weather, and the like, before it settled into a more serious tone. I wanted to thank you for giving me a reason to get Var out the door quickly. I think I need this getaway badly. I know you dated that guy, but he gets on my nerves. I'm surprised he doesn't drive you crazy more often. Saying it's complicated will be understatement. Haha. Verlos was special to you, wasn't he? Was now? Heh, weird to think about it that way. We've been on and off again more than a light switch, but somehow I always wound up right back where I started. You mean with him? More than that, everything seems to just settle back into the same routine. Work, dates, bills, even old Betsy here would seem to wind up with the same issue again. You name your truck Betsy? Hahaha. Yep, first girl I dated in high school. Awkward, cumbersome, needed a bunch of maintenance. Just seems like the name was a perfect fit. Takes a certain kind of person to name their car, you know. Still, yeah, Var was important to me. Now, I don't even know. I certainly don't think I'm that important to him. I got quiet for a moment. It never really occurred to me that Dustin wouldn't be aware of Varot's manipulation, since it seems he just went along with them. It made me think back before I went to Amorous, that strange sort of hazy feeling I had at the start. I was in a rut, frustrated with the job hunt and going nowhere but still come back. I still turned to Kobe dragged me out of it. Looks like we're in luck. No one else is out here and there's plenty of parking right by the beach. We pull to a stop and get out, grabbing our things from the bed of a truck and hiking down the narrow stairs to stand below. I suppose it didn't matter what we had going on before now. The only thing that was worth thinking about was enjoying the sun, the surf, and the company. Dustin wasn't kidding about the beach being secluded. Sheer cliffs of the sandstone block off the access from the main road and the inlet looked like it had been curved out from an underground spout. Still, the sun was in just the right position to flood the tiny beach and the waves were softly lapping at the shore. It was picturesque. Dustin started by folding out the chair and tossing down a blanket over the sand. Settling the cooler in the middle, he set up a small beach umbrella towards the back before smiling over to me. There we go, our own little slice of heaven. Speaking of which, Dustin unceremoniously shook off his shirt, tossing over the back of the one of the chair. After a short stretch, he settled in out to the blanket, leaving his chest exposed to the sun. Ah man, I live for this. Nothing like the feel of warm sun on your fur. You're such a house cat. Heh, you're such a cat stereotype, curling up in a sunbeam the first chance you get. No use denying my heritage. It's so good. So, how did you find this place? A secluded little cove like this should be a hot spot for everyone looking for a little privacy. Dustin squinted a little into the bright blue sky before rolling into one side to face me. It was really on with Var. Back when he just wanted to get away from everything, I was his major form of escape at the time. Escape from what? Seems like he was perfectly happy with where he was when I talked to him. Used to be. He wasn't that into money and getting stuff. I figured it was just his teenage rebellious phase spilling over. One day, he shows up to my place in the middle of the night with a beach towel and a cooler of beer. Said his dad tried to set him up with someone from work for a date or something. So we hopped into my truck and just drove. He tossed back a couple of beers and snuggled up to me. When we passed near here, he saw the moonlight off the waves and said we should stop. And well, obviously we did. Stayed out until 1 AM just listening to the waves and drinking. We both didn't want to risk driving back, so we just slept on the beach and drove home after a sunrise. Man, his dad was pissed. That's why he's important to you? Why you've been putting up with him and why he's still lingering around? It's like I said in the drive out. It was comfortable sort of routine, easy to fall back into regardless of what happened. But people change. I see it enough at work. I should have seen it at home too. Am I always going to be competing with that memory? Getting kinda heavy for a relaxing beach trip, aren't you, kid? He keeps coming up, regardless. To be honest, I think we're both competing with that memory. Me seeing what VAR is now, and you coming into the end of that train wreck that was. But I'll tell you, it's different now. That routine isn't comfortable anymore, and I'm ready for a new one. The waves wash away everything else for a moment. I know my uncertain was going to linger, knowing just how far back VAR went. I couldn't help but remember his taunt. He'll dump you by the curb. For the moment, no matter what either of us went through, he was willing to share this. Laying in the sand near the surf, he wanted to take the time to be here with me. That's worth something. You got quiet there for a moment, kid. Something on your mind? Just thinking? Just thinking about us, this whole situation and where it all might end up. I forgot how complicated dating can be sometimes. Heck, I forgot how complicated people can be. It's not easy, sure, but nothing worth doing is. Well, except for one thing. To my surprise, Dustin stood up from his blanket and moved over next to me. His paw ran softly along my shoulder and down the back of my neck as he leaned in closer. Gently, his lips brushed my own as he pulled me towards him for a long, luxurious kiss. I could feel his strength wrapping around me and the trickles of his rough tongue against mine. There was a tenderness, a warmth that radiated through the kiss. The sunbathing had left his fur achingly hot and rolling warmth of the beach left me slumped into the arms. Then the cool ocean breeze passed over my lips. The shock of separation from him pulling me back from my haze. His paw stroked my neck softly, his smile beaming down over me. That's something Veros and I never did here. A new memory that I'm enjoying greatly. I felt a chill rise from around me. Maybe it was the ocean or maybe it was my nerves, but I pushed forward into the thick furred warmth and buried my face in his mane. I take it that it was a good memory for you too, then. Mm-hmm. I mumbled and nodded, surrounded by silken fur that wrapped me in waves of warmth. His scent filled my nostrils and left me dizzy. He continued to stroke my head and neck softly, stretched it out to catch a few sunbeams more. Dustin snuggled up next to me, watching the waves roll down along the shore and keeping on arms around my shoulder. It was a vastly different date and a different Dustin than I had first met. I felt more comfortable with him, less like I was just another one night stand. We stayed out until just before sunset. The chill eventually getting too much for me and Dustin to bear. We should get going. It's only going to get colder at this point. This is gay to ask. I don't know which to ask. Okay, I got it. Why'd you have to put your shirt back on? Ha! Because despite my furry hide, I was getting a chill. Though I know you feel cheated at not getting to stare at my chest anymore. I promise this won't be the last time we came here, and next time, maybe I won't have work in the morning. Begrudgingly, I gathered up my things and the cooler as Dustin grabbed a blanket and umbrella. The warmth came back to us as we moved up the trail towards the truck, and I felt a little of that hazy, dreamy feeling from his embrace. Powering truth, I tossed my bundle into the back of the truck and hopped back inside. Once the door shut, the truck roared to life immediately. My surprise was echoed in Dustin's face. Guess Betsy likes you too. We both chuckled as he pulled smoothly out of the parking lot and back into the main road. The trip back was much lighter than the one over. I was still riding in the high of the kiss and Dustin's paw had found its way to mine, squeezing it firmly. We talked for a while longer, since he insisted on dropping me by my house instead of making me walk home. I wanna see where you live anyway, just in case I want to drop by and say hi. As we pulled up to the house, Dustin parked and the two of us walked to the front door. Nice place your parents have. Cozy but spacious. Not quite spacious enough that I got my own room, but my brother and I get along well enough. Heh, well, I suppose this is where I should say goodnight. Don't want your dad come out and kick my ass for bringing you home after curfew. I'm an adult, Dustin. Don't be a dick. I grind at him and lean in to kiss me in the cheeks. Give me a call soon, kid. I don't like to be kept waiting for long. As I waved goodbye, I could feel eyes on me. Turning around, I drew in a deep sigh when I saw who it was. So, who was that? Suddenly, I feel like it's going to be a long night. And we're finished in the third date. Yes. So, I guess this is gonna be the end of the video. The next is gonna be the last part anyway. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you're new here, subscribe. This is Ernesto, and I'm signing out.